It's 2 o'clock in the morning. The room is silent. The lights are off. The world outside has finally gone to sleep, but your mind hasn't. It replays a conversation from 3 years ago. It imagines a future that hasn't happened. It creates argument that may never exist. It remembers mistakes you thought you had forgotten. And somehow, the more you beg it to stop, the louder it becomes. If you have ever laid awake wondering, why can't I just switch my mind off? Then this conversation is for you. Because what if I told you that your restless mind is not a mistake? What if the problem isn't that your mind thinks too much, but that no one ever taught you what the mind actually is? More than 5,000 years ago, on a battlefield far removed from our smartphones, deadlines, and endless notifications, Sri Krishna explained something about the human mind that remains just as true today. Not because human technology hasn't changed, but because human nature hasn't. Every morning begins the same way. Before you or your feet touch the floor, your hand reaches for your phone, a message, a deadline, a headline, an email, a notification, another opinion, another comparison, another reason to feel behind. Without realizing it, your mind has already begun collecting fragments from the outside world. By lunchtime, you have spoken to dozens of people, read hundreds of sentences, seen thousands of images, compared your life to strangers, worried about tomorrow, regretted yesterday, and somewhere in between you wondered why you feel mentally exhausted. We often blame the world around us. The world is too noisy. Life has become too fast. Social media destroyed my attention. Perhaps. But even if you were to leave your phone behind, walk into the quietest forest, and sit beneath the oldest tree, your thoughts would still follow you. Because noise is not only outside us, sometimes it's living within us. When the great warrior Arjun stood on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, his greatest enemy wasn't standing in front of him. It was happening inside him. His thoughts moved faster than his courage. His emotions clouded his judgment. His heart wanted one thing. His mind argued another. He became so overwhelmed that he lowered his bow, not because he lacked courage or strength, but because he no longer trusted his own mind. Many of us know that feeling, not on a battlefield, but in everyday life. Standing outside a difficult meeting, sitting in the car before walking into the office, staring at an unanswered message, trying to make a decision, wondering whether we are enough. The battlefield changes, the restless mind remains the same. Sri Krishna did something remarkable. He didn't tell Arjun to stop thinking. He didn't tell him to suppress his emotions. He didn't tell him that a peaceful person has no thoughts. Instead, he helped Arjun understand the nature of the mind itself. Imagine standing beside a flowing river. You don't become angry because the river flows. You don't shout at the water for moving. Its nature is to flow. The mind is much the same. Its nature is to think, to imagine, to remember, to compare, to question, to plan. Expecting the mind to produce no thoughts is like expecting the ocean to produce no waves. The waves are not the problem. The struggle begins when we believe we must chase every wave or stop every wave before we can experience peace. And perhaps that is where we have misunderstood the mind all along. Sri Krishna offered Arjun a truth that has echoed through centuries. He said, the mind can become your greatest friend, and the very same mind can become your greatest enemy. Notice something remarkable. He didn't say your enemy is another person. He didn't say your enemy is the world. He didn't even say your enemy is your circumstances. He pointed inward because two people can live through the same event yet experience completely different realities. One loses a job and sees only failure. Another loses a job and discovers a new purpose. One receives criticism and carries it for years. Another hears it, learns from it, and let it go. The event is same. The mind creates the experience. That is why peace cannot be found by arranging the outside world perfectly. There will always be another challenge, another disappointment, another unexpected turn. If peace depends on everything outside of you becoming perfect, peace will always remain one step ahead of you. Have you ever watched a monkey in a forest? It rarely stays on one branch for long. It leaps, it grabs, it lets go, then immediately reaches for something else. Our thoughts behave in much the same way. One moment you are planning tomorrow, the next moment you are remembering yesterday. Then suddenly you're imagining a conversation that hasn't ever happened. Without realizing it, you have traveled years in the past or years into the future while your body never left the present moment. This is why so many people say, I don't know how to live in the present. The truth is, the present has never left you. Your attention has. That is the eternal truth. Imagine you are sitting inside a car. Your thoughts are passengers. Some are calm, some are frightened, some are angry, some never stop talking. Now imagine handing the steering wheel to whichever passenger shouts the loudest. Would you ever reach your destination? Probably not. Yet many of us do exactly that every day. A fearful thought appears and suddenly fear is driving. An angry thought appears and now anger has the wheel. A doubtful thought appears, you are not good enough, and before long, your entire day begins moving in that direction. Sri Krishna reminds us that awareness is the true driver. Thoughts may speak, they may advise, they may even argue, but they do not deserve the steering wheel simply because they appear. You have something deeper than thought, the ability to witness thought, the quiet awareness is where freedom begins. Look up at the sky. Some days it's filled with the dark clouds, other days it's bright and endless. The clouds are always changing, the sky is not. Now ask yourself, which one are you? Most of us spend our lives believing we are the clouds. I am my anxiety, I am my anger, I am my worries, I am my thoughts. Sri Krishna gently points us towards another possibility. What if you are not the clouds, but the sky that has been silently watching and witnessing them all along? Thoughts will continue to come, just as clouds continue to drift across the sky. You don't need to chase them, you don't need to fight them, you don't even need to stop them. You simply need to remember that they are passing through something far greater than themselves, and that greater space is your true nature. So, what do we do when mind refuses to become quiet? Sri Krishna's wisdom isn't about escaping the mind, it's about changing our relationship with it. The next time a worrying thought appears, don't immediately believe it. Pause, relax, take one slow breath, and simply ask yourself, is this thought a fact or is it only a visitor? You will be surprised how often your mind is predicting a future that never arrives, or replaying a past that no longer exists. Not every thought deserves your attention, just as every stranger who knocks on your door deserves to be invited inside. Learning to observe your thoughts without immediately following them is one of the greatest acts of inner freedom. This doesn't happen overnight. Even Arjun didn't transform in a single conversation. Understanding becomes practice, practice becomes wisdom, and wisdom becomes peace. The same journey awaits each one of us. There's a quiet space within you that has been present since childhood. It watched your first success. It watched your first heartbreak. It watched your happiest moment and your darkest night. That silent presence has never been harmed by any thought. It simply witnesses. The Bhagavad Gita gently reminds us that beneath the restless surface of the mind there is an awareness that is already whole, already peaceful, already free. You don't have to create that peace. You don't have to stop overlooking it. You only have to stop overlooking it because you are peace. Imagine standing beside a lake on a windy day. The water is restless, the surface reflects nothing clearly. But as the wind settles, the lake doesn't become something new. It simply reveals what was already there. The mind is like that lake. Peace isn't something you manufacture. It's something that appears when the turbulence begins to settle. Perhaps today your mind is still busy. Perhaps when this video ends, thoughts will continue to come. And that's perfectly alright. The goal was never to stop thinking. The goal was to stop believing that every thought is who you are. Remember this whenever your mind begins to race. Thoughts are visitors. You are the home. Thoughts are waves. You are the ocean. Thoughts are clouds. You are the endless sky. And once you begin living from that understanding, the mind slowly loses its power to control your life. Not because it stopped creating thoughts, but because you stopped becoming every thought it created. I'll repeat this sentence again. Not because it stopped creating thoughts, but because you stopped becoming every thought it created. If today's reflection brought Even a moment of stillness in your heart, carry that stillness with you today. And if you know someone whose mind never seems to rest, share this conversation with them. Sometimes peace begins with a single understanding. In the next episode of Finding Peace, we'll explore one of the greatest illusions of modern life, the biggest lie about happiness. Until then, walk gently, observe patiently, and remember, the mind is a wonderful servant, but a difficult master. Keep seeking, keep reflecting, and keep walking the path toward the peace that has always lived within you. I am Swamy Chitta, and this is Spiritual Veda.